Welcome to this video on the Zenora channel. My name is Sri Satguru, Buddha Rawa Bhagwan. Today's video on the channel, we will talk about spirits. And what is a spirit flare-up? So what is a spirit flare-up? Well, spirits exist in everything that you see, in everything around you. All things have either a soul or a spirit. So spirits exist in all objects, in all things, in the wind, in the sky, in everything. In all objects physical, there are spirits. And there are spirits in the structure, on other lokas, in the structure of things that connect to those objects and allow spirits to enter and exit objects of physical reality. So the spirits exist. The spirits are real. The spirits are everywhere, all around. Everything is a spirit or a soul. And some with souls even bring spirits within them. But that is a story of a type of shaman called a receptacle. A transporter. A nest. So there are spirits. As there are different types of shaman, there are different types of spirits. And there are main archetypes of spirits, and they reproduce like rabbits. So there are many spirits. So all things in reality, in physical reality, all levels of physical reality that you experience have spirits. So normally the spirits, they don't adversely affect physical reality, but they can. So as a shaman can use different paths to do different powers and with effects to heal, to do war. Well, spirits are used and spirit work is done. So often in the land there are specialists in spirit work. And they're not always known in society, but some people know about them, and they're the ones who basically make sure that the interaction of the spirits of the land happens well. You know, that the spirits of the land are appeased and everything happens well, and that there's no flare-ups. So what is a flare-up? A flare-up is when some spirits decide that they are going to adversely affect a part of reality, a part of physical reality. So what they do, a flare-up, is that they heat up a part of reality. So they compose the structure of everything, of air and all this, their spirits. So they heat up. They bring in their power and they heat up a part of reality, a flare-up, a spirit flare-up. And that has a spirit effect, a spirit consequence. It could be pushing something. It could be different effects. It's called a spirit flare-up. And areas are usually stabilized by their shaman and the ones who deal with the spirit realm. But the spirits can flare up. So what are things that can be done? Well, depending on what message, what type of message, and what type of purpose the spirits have, right? Now, there's different types of spirits. There's the spirit where an individual spirit is brought, for example, within a shaman and resides within a shaman, and the shaman sends out that spirit to do things. But there's also the interaction with all the spirits that compose all of physical manifestation and reality. The different types of shaman. As you have the receptacle, you also have the dominating shaman, the dominator. The feared dominator that goes to battle with the whole system and controls and dominates the whole system that has spirit. And then, of course, you have the collector, the feared collector of spirits, who collects them in objects, builds a collection of spirits. And of course, the feared soul collector that everybody is scared of. No one wants to be there when the soul collector arrives, because no one wants their soul to be collected by a soul collector and added to his collection. So there are many different other types of shaman. You know, there's shaman who follow different paths, like the path of water, the path of fire, the path of earth, the path of air. Many different types of shaman, depending on what they do. And then you have specialization after the shaman, such as, for example, in some cultures, the shaman sorcerer, or different things like that. Combinations of different things, shaman and sorcerer, you know, depending on the story of the Adi Shri from which they get their empowerment in their spiritual lineages as a culture, right? As there are 12 Adi Shri, there are 12 essential branches of spiritual empowerment coming from the Adi Shri. So the 12 essential branches of development of lineages, right? So this is essentially what a flare-up is, okay? A spirit flare-up. So visualize everything's very quiet and normal, there's nothing, and then suddenly the spirits flare up an area, which means they heat up an area of reality. It can be in the middle of the sky, it can be anything. They heat it up, and then they do something with that area of reality that they heated up, you know, which has a physical effect, such as, for example, such as different effects there. So this is a spirit flare-up, right? And once again, areas are usually stabilized against spirit flare-ups by the connection to the land, of the people, the shamans, the people that are close to the land. But sometimes the spirits could theoretically flare up and do different things that could happen. Thank you for listening to this video on the Zen Warrior channel.